Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining in today. Today is an interesting session, and there's a lot of buzz in the industry around digital marketing platforms and especially around Sitecore 8. And we thought it would be a good time to speak to our audience and talk to them about a few key things that Sitecore 8 Experience Platform really brings to marketers. Many of you would have probably seen Sitecore 8, read about Sitecore 8, and probably seen demos as well of the product. We're not going to focus on the features of Sitecore 8 per se in today's session. Instead, what we're going to talk about today is the value that really this platform will bring to you. And we've kind of focused our conversation today around 4 areas that Sitecore 8 has truly kind of nailed in its latest release. One of them is about insight into real-time customer behavior. And we believe that this is a game changer in the newest release of Sitecore. And we'll talk a bit about how it can truly help digital marketers. The other is in an age where customers are flipping channels, devices, and preferences at the speed of light, it's important that marketers react to such behavior in an equally speedy way. And therefore, the need for marketing programs to be high velocity. And what we're going to talk about today is how can you really react more or less in real time to customer preferences, and how does the platform allow you to do that? So we'll focus a bit about that. We've heard a lot of platforms talking about enabling multi-channel marketing. A few of them are doing it really well. How does Sitecore 8 stack up? How does it truly enable you to go multi-channel with your brands, your messaging, your value proposition, while keeping customer experience at the forefront? And finally, Sitecore, since its inception and then progressive releases, Sitecore is an old hand at personalization. It's been 6 years and that they last, invented the whole story around digital marketing personalization on Sitecore properties and how you could really tailor experiences based on customer behavior and preferences. So what's new with Sitecore 8? Is there something that's really been added to the platform over and above what it already possessed? So we're going to talk a bit about that and really see how personalization has taken a boost with the new release. So with that said, quickly get into the gist of this conversation today. And we'll start with talking about customer behavior, or the measurement of real-time customer behavior. And why is this insight important? There's been a lot of talk around looking at customer data, looking at their preferences, looking at customers' intent in terms of how they want to interact with your brand, your message, and what really are they expecting from you after they have seen something from you. So especially with repeat customer visits to whether it's your website, your portal, your advertiser site, your e-commerce site, whatever the case is, marketers are increasingly getting itchy about trying to see how customers are coming back and what is really going to pull them back, and how can they measure each of those interactions, over time. And leading researchers, consulting firms, analysts all over are saying that customers are going to go away from you if they feel that you're not really paying attention to what they want. And the reason for that is that the customer has changed. It goes without saying that they are more informed, more empowered with knowledge. And I mentioned about their journey being very dynamic, across channels, from search to social to testimonials to reviews to forums to offline. It's a journey that's hard to track. And while we have so many platforms that are doing a very good job at tracking how customers are moving from one channel to the other and trying to present a picture to marketers, the reality is that it's for marketers it's a challenge to be up to speed with the way customers are moving from one channel and now from one device to the other as well. And the third most important aspect is that with all the content that's floating around on so many devices and so many channels, buyers, customers, or prospects are suffering from what we call as ADHD, or attention deficit hyperdisorder. And therefore, for marketers, it's become even more imperative to actually be able to keep up with that notion. And while that's a hard ask for any marketer to really live up to, but if you want to compete in this age with other brands and their messages, you have to do something different. And while the creativity can never be really sidelined, the important thing is that you have the right tools in place, you have the right platforms in place that enables you to get your message out before your competitor does in an efficient way, in a consistent way across all these channels. Now, we talked about the new customer and what they like and what they don't like. And some of the key things that have really come up is, is purely focused on preferences. They tend to disengage when they don't get relevant content, and this is especially true for repeat customers, repeat prospects. They consume content across channels. They have the knowledge and the information. They do their homework before they come to you. And they want to interact with your brand, with your message, with your advertising, what have you, on their own terms. And that's something that's very important to be considered. They're always on, and they expect that you know what they want, and that's no mean ask, because if the price to be paid here is that the customer moves away from you to some other brand that's competing with you, you're potentially losing out on lifetime value of a customer. Given this background, I think it's really important, and beneath the layers, how does Sitecore really work? The customer has changed, buying behavior has changed. There's so many devices, so many channels. You need to get out your content in a good time, at the right place, at the right time. How does Sitecore really fit into this? So we went underneath the layers that really, Sitecore has, and essentially what this new release does is that it manages large sets of customer interactions in a much better way, and it is also able to understand customer behavior and intent much better than earlier versions. And here, an interaction with your brand is basically when a prospect, a customer, a buyer, when they communicate with you or engage with your brand. So one interaction could be one visit or one session or one click on an ad that you throw out somewhere. It could be defined by you and programmed into Sitecore. And interactions could include, an anonymous visit, or a known customer or a prospect coming back for more content from you, and showing progressively higher or lower level of engagement or commitment to your brand, your messaging, or your content. Now, the beauty here with Sitecore is that from the first time somebody pays you an anonymous visit by clicking on an ad and coming to your website, till the time that they become a customer with you or they don't become a customer, every interaction is recorded in Sitecore. And how Sitecore is able to do it, I'll come to that. But essentially, from the first visit till the last, Sitecore is creating a profile of every prospect, customer, or buyer in its database, first time it interacts with your brand till the last time. So this is the fundamental aspect on which Sitecore really works. What does it do with all this data? Every interaction goes into what is called the experience database. And Sitecore's experience database is a key step up in the latest release of Sitecore. And what the experience database is truly a data repository. Marketers are not unfamiliar with the concept or notion of big data. Sitecore has embraced that concept, but given it a unique twist of its own. So the experience database is a data repository that collects information related to every customer interaction across all channels and devices with your brand. It then tries to define a unified view of every individual prospect, known prospect, customer, or buyer. And then it makes this unified view available in real time to marketers for analysis. And finally, by building on this unified view, which is being added to over time, it can provide you with the capability to provide personalized experiences to these customers, prospects, or buyers. So essentially what we're saying is Sitecore 8 stands for connected data, and that connected data can give exceptional customer experience. By following this process of collecting information, collating it, creating a unified view, making it available in real time, keeping it updated at all times with every interaction, and then market can sit on this goldmine of data and be able to personalize experiences based on the profiles that they have available in Sitecore. Now, why is it a game changer? More reasons than one. One view of the customer across websites, non-Sitecore websites, CRM, partner sites, publisher sites, e-commerce sites, you name it, Sitecore is able to do that. One digital analytics toolset that has many other tools built within that, tools like the Experience Analytics and Path Analyzer for those who are familiar with the terminology around Sitecore 8. And this tool set will show you how customers are interacting with your digital properties. Real-time customer intelligence, which helps you orchestrate the right experience for the right prospect or customer across multiple channels. And you can do all of this, on-premise or on the cloud. So what Sitecore XDB is basically doing for you is that it's creating a behemoth of information around customers, their preferences, their history, their behavior, their persona, their geography, their demography, etc., and making that data available to you in real time at all times, whether it's you install this on-premise or whether you go for the cloud option. And what does that lead to? It leads to the concept of the experience profiles, or popularly known as the X files. The experience profile feature is based on the experience database that I just explained. And this is a unique and powerful feature of Sitecore. What it allows you to do is to monitor the behavior of contacts that have really interacted with you historically at any place that you're tracking them on. And the views that it provides are multifarious in nature. You have summary views, you have individual views, you have timeline-based views, you have all these options available that provide you with the flexibility to choose different kinds of views into how you would want to see customer data that has built up over time. And then what you can do with that data is that you can measure and respond in real time based on this behavior. Whether it's a known contact, an unknown contact, it needs to be on a Sitecore property or even on a non-Sitecore property. As long as you're able to track it, you will be able to record it, and you'll be able to act on it. And it keeps building all the time. Over a period of weeks, days, months, or in some cases years, depending on how your sales cycle looks like. The experience profile keeps building. It keeps getting enriched. You keep pulling data from all sources. And here, Sitecore has added another twist to the tale. In previous editions, it was difficult to track data about customers from offline avenues. You can do that now with the proper integrations within Sitecore. You can also track social data, social interaction data to your customers, the way they are interacting with your social properties, your profiles, your offers, etc., and pulls the data into the experience database and then makes it available, consolidated in the experience profile. So imagine, an unknown prospect interacting with you on social, on email, on your website, on third-party sites, clicks on your ad on some publisher site. You're recording all of that behavior and data and pulling it all together into one consolidated data repository. And then you're building a picture of that prospect in your database. Now, how it gets better is that Sitecore has introduced the concept of the Federated Experience Manager. You can also, and I'll talk a bit about that shortly. Then you can also integrate with your CRM system. Any customer data lying in there, you can pull it in here. Social data, I talked about that. And then XDB can also integrate with other proprietary or customized or individual data sources that you may have within your system. So we're talking about pulling data from ERP systems, PIM systems, or any other systems that you are using customer data on or tracking customer data through. You can integrate that with the experience database. So this is truly what we talked about in terms of big data. Sitecore has spread the net out far and wide. It wants to give you, as a marketer, it wants to give you the flexibility and the choices that come with, pulling in data from various sources, whether they are proprietary, in-house, external, or multi-channel, and put it all together so that you get, you try and get a unified view of customers across systems, channels, and marketing initiatives. So how does it improve and control marketing? Well, with the FXM, what Sitecore has done is that with the addition of some JavaScript code, you can actually track behavior as well as personalized behavior on non-Sitecore websites. Third-party e-commerce sites are a common suspect there. Publisher or advertiser websites where you're running your campaign. And with a lot of larger brands where you tend to keep acquiring smaller smaller brands, or keep acquiring smaller competitors, and try and grow by mergers and acquisitions, you tend to acquire a lot of new websites, and chances are that those websites may not be on Sitecore. So therefore, what you can do is, if you're growing from 50 to 100 sites over a period of 1 year through acquisition, all those non-Sitecore websites also come under your brand umbrella via the tool called FXM. Because with FXM, you can control all those websites, control the experiences there, track the experiences there, and also pull in customer behavior data from those websites into the experience database. And we started talking about real-time insight into customer behavior. So, some of the coolest stuff that Sitecore has come up with is around social. And I talk about social data ingestion. And this is an example of how, you can get a view into what's going on in terms of your social profiles, the content and offers and, value propositions that you have. What are people doing there? How much time are they spending? What is the engagement value per visit? That's an interesting concept that Sitecore has come up with. How much time are they visiting on these social profiles? What kind of stuff are they reading? Um, are they sharing? Are they forwarding? Are they retweeting? Etc. Everything adds to the engagement value. When somebody's on your social profile and doing certain things, everything adds to the engagement score of that prospect or customer on your social profile. And Sitecore measures that and provides you with that view. It can also track conversion rates. If there are calls to action that you have around offers, it can track those and give you that data. And it can give you all sorts of insight in real time. What we did also was that, since we work with a variety of platforms, we also did a quick deep dive into how, Sitecore's claim of real-time analytics, how does it, against, some of the other prominent platforms. So we looked at a few. We looked at Adobe, we looked at Google Analytics Premium, we looked at Core Metrics, and we isolated a few key features in terms of analytical insights, insights that can truly help marketers. And we measured Sitecore against some of these best-of-breed tools. And what you see here is a very clear picture of how some of the unique features of Sitecore really shine through in terms of real-time analytics capabilities. The capability to actually website personalization, do any kind of digital personalization on Sitecore-based properties, or through FXM on non-Sitecore-based properties in real time is something that is unique to Sitecore. Yes, it can be done on some other platforms, but heavy customization needs to be done, which needs time and costs. The experience analytics, again, it's a unique concept because it's based on a big data notion, is that it provides you with complete real-time profile information for known and unknown visitors historically and keeps updating it. And again, you can do this with a few other platforms, but needs a lot of customization. And then finally, the icing on the cake is the integration with marketing automation. So Sitecore 8 comes fully integrated with its own marketing automation capabilities, and because it's a full, tightly knitted suite, all the data that you have in your marketing automation is naturally shared with the Sitecore Experience database, and that in itself is a huge capability that marketers can derive from Sitecore. With other tools, you need to integrate various systems to get this capability. Here, it's all tightly knit together. Now let's talk about high-velocity marketing programs. I referred to the start of today's session. I referred to the fact that buyers are flippant. They are they are loyal only to brands that engage with them over time and respect their preferences. And therefore, marketers are faced with an imperative. You either respond at the stage the buyers expect you to, or you lose out, on potential customers. So when we looked at Sitecore and we thought, how could this platform or how could Sitecore 8 contribute to, high-velocity marketing programs? The best way to actually represent it is through a buying cycle. So, what we have here is, a typical buying cycle. Could be, relevant to many of you, on today's session. And what we did was we looked at the entire cycle and we looked at how Sitecore is influencing key points in the cycle through its suite features. So let's say, we have somebody looking for a new CMS platform. Let's say an SVP of marketing in an insurance company is looking for a new CMS platform. Google finds an ad, goes to the landing page, which has an offer of a white paper, right? Now that landing page is controlled through probably Sitecore Federated Experience Manager or the Sitecore FXM. It could be on Sitecore, but if it's outside of Sitecore on some third-party site, on some publisher site, you are still able to control it through the Sitecore FXM. Now they register, download the white paper on how to, let's say, select a new CMS platform. Now, when they download the white paper, they're giving you their information via Sitecore's inbuilt module called the Web Forms for Marketers. It's a customized version of earlier Web Form for Marketer modules. What Sitecore has done now is that in its new version, the Web Forms for Marketers module, you can completely customize it using an easy-to-use inline editor. You can change the fields around. You can play with the colors. You can do a lot of things that you were earlier not able to do. And you can do those in a few minutes. It's that easy for marketers. You can create your own forms without having to do one bit of HTML work and just simply do a quick 10-15 minute job and put the form up, and you can use it for acquisition. Once they register with you, they become a known customer. And as soon as they become a known customer, their data goes into the Sitecore Experience Profile and the Experience Database, which I was talking about. Now, they've downloaded the white paper, may not have read it, and since they keep flipping between channels, this person might want to read the white paper on their mobile phone. So he reads the white paper on the mobile phone via cloud, and here Sitecore's multi-channel publishing comes to the fore. Everything that's possible on web is possible on mobile or tablet. Seamless experience, the same offer, the same experience, nothing changes. So he's able to read the white paper that he has downloaded earlier on his mobile device via cloud. After this, since his data is already in the Sitecore Experience Profile, it triggers an automated alert to Sitecore's marketing automation, which is the Email Experience Manager. It's called Sitecore Email Experience Manager. And this prospect, this known prospect, gets an email in due course of time, which has features of the CMS platform that he's evaluating. This trigger has been, done from within Sitecore, from within the XDB, from within the Experience Profile to Sitecore Email Experience Manager. And this email is personalized to this prospect. It is based on what this prospect has done so far with your landing page, with your white paper, and on your website. So he gets an email. Once he gets an email, obviously that email is personalized and tailored. So there are more chances than not of him actually sending an email to a sales guy, or be happy to take a call from a sales guy and have a meeting or a presentation about a demo of this product. So the sales cycle starts fairly early, and it starts because we have respected this person's behavior and send them communication based on his behavior shown. Once the sales conversation starts, the magic does not end there. This person might be browsing on LinkedIn, might be going to the New York Times website, and there they see an ad which is about the CMS and which probably has a customer testimonial attached. So this is again done through Sitecore, through multi-channel publishing, through the Federated Experience Manager, and analytics is tracking everything that's happening on this third-party site where this ad is being shown. And this ad is being shown only to this particular prospect when they go there, because those preferences are known to Sitecore, and therefore this ad can be shown in a tailored way. Had this been an unknown prospect, or if Sitecore would not have the data about this prospect, they would have probably shown an ad, but that ad would probably not have been relevant. At this point, this prospect has moved from an awareness or a consideration phase towards more of a value proposition phase, or hinging towards a decision phase at some point, and therefore the customer testimonial is a more apt way of trying to retarget this customer through this display ad. So if you see this entire journey, what Sitecore is essentially doing is it is respecting the prospect's buying journey, and it is enabling a marketer to use different kinds of content and tactics at different points to be able to shorten the sales cycle and get into a sales conversation with this prospect as early as possible. And finally, if this prospect becomes a customer, they can actually become an advocate because you've been able to satisfy this prospect's content needs, preferences, and behavior, and being able to publish the right content to them at the right time on the right device. So this is an example of how high velocity marketing can be carried out using Sitecore as a suite, and by using Sitecore across the buying life cycle of a prospect. And you're able to do this with Sitecore because it has some key additions as opposed to earlier versions of Sitecore. Sitecore is always an open platform. It is easily integrated with any existing systems that you may have. I talked about integrations with ERP systems, CRM systems, PIM systems, etc. So Sitecore has an open API which is very, very friendly to integrations. It's not complex to integrate. So therefore, your possibilities of data integration increase. They have the big data platform ability to capture customer interactions historically and in real time, and you can use this information for better segmentation and targeting of messages. You can manage all your content across various channels with no coding required, and this is a significant capability that Sitecore is offering. You can test your messaging, your campaigns on various channels and devices without the need for any kind of coding. You can support all kinds of testing, multivariate testing for campaigns. Again, no coding required. And finally, because you have, I talked about the fact that Sitecore measures engagement value for anything that is tracking. So, whether it's social or any other channel that it's tracking, it measures how people are interacting with your brand and messaging, and keeps an engagement score, which keeps updating from time to time. Based on that engagement score, you can assign rules within Sitecore that enable you to have different kinds of engagement and marketing plans for different buckets or segments of prospects and customers, which is a fantastic feature because, by using data very smartly, what Sitecore is doing is it is enabling you to customize and segment your audience very, very easily without really having to have a large team for it, without really having to go to IT, without really needing to have 5 people to support you, because no coding is required for all these things to happen. You can do all of these very easily from within the platform. Multi-channel marketing, like I referred to at the start of today's session, a lot of platforms have been saying that we offer the capability for multi-channel marketing. But if you look beneath the layers, like we keep doing with different platforms, the need for a platform to deliver positive digital experiences across all touch points is what truly defines multi-channel marketing. And it needs to be easy to do. You should not be dependent on a large team or, again, need to depend on IT to be able to enable this kind of capability for you and be able to do it consistently. If you're not able to do it consistently, quickly, and effortlessly, then it becomes a real task to do true multi-channel marketing. And consistency in brand and messaging is very important because without that, you're really talking about a disjointed customer experience across channels. So Sitecore has paid a lot of attention to this aspect, and the approach it has taken is based on the multi-channel marketing fundamental is based on, again, the ability to have the right data supporting the right marketing initiatives. So Sitecore's approach to collecting data and making it available to marketers is based on a very, very scientific approach: collect, ingest, normalize, curate, and publish, so that marketers are able to use this data effectively for any kind of multi-channel marketing initiatives. Best of all, Sitecore supports scope. Now, scope is create once, publish everywhere. So now with Sitecore, you can do this so easily. You can not just do it on your websites, on your landing pages, on your portals. You can do it through the FXM on non-Sitecore websites. You can use Sitecore's mobile capabilities to do it on devices and tablets. You can use Sitecore's social capabilities, which is a new addition. Sitecore has acquired Confus, and Confus Social provides you with the capability to actually do social publishing as easily as you can do website publishing. So create once, publish everywhere, whether it's your tweet or a new offer on a third-party website or a new update on your own website. You can do pretty much everything by creating content once and repurposing and reusing it everywhere. And the best thing is that because it's an integrated suite, you can do all of these things from within the platform without ever having the need to really go outside and start looking for other platforms to plug into your platform. It provides you CMS capabilities. It provides you with the capability to do marketing automation. It has terrific analytics capabilities that I just talked about earlier in today's session. And you can integrate your CRM systems with Sitecore. And therefore, what you're able to do is that you can publish and control and personalize experiences across different channels, whether it's e-commerce or email or mobile or advertising, pretty much like you would do on your website using a single platform, which is Sitecore. Personalization has always been a strong forte of Sitecore's capabilities, right? From the past 5 to 6 years. And in personalization, it's important to understand that marketers have gone down this route in the past few years. They've taken approaches that have tried to bring them closer to customers via the personalization route. But what is important to understand here is that if the modern marketer's preferences are to go multi-channel, to have personalized approach to segments and customers and prospects, they want to depend on content to really do all the talking, and the foundation is based on data superiority. So if you look at each of these asks that a modern marketer has, Sitecore pretty much checks each box inside out, because we talked about the importance of multi-channel and how Sitecore functions there. We talked about high-velocity content marketing programs and how Sitecore works with you through the buying life cycle and actually helps in shortening the life cycle. And the foundation is based on the experience database, which is basically Sitecore's big new addition in the Sitecore 8 version. Now, marketers, they want to do cross-channel engagement. They have the same experience across web, mobile, email, social, and they want to do it easily without having to have large teams, without having to have too much training, without having to have large technical support. And Sitecore has paid a lot of attention to this aspect, and what it has in Sitecore 8 is truly a platform that enables you to do this kind of an engagement with prospects and customers with as much ease as it can be really possible. Because Sitecore has paid attention to the customer's perspective is that they keep going from one place to the other, from channels. They have different kinds of lifestyles, different kinds of preferences, different kinds of devices, and it's very, very important that your marketing platform is able to give you that power and flexibility to be able to catch up and keep track and keep up to speed with this ever-moving customer. Marketers are doing a lot of personalization. They're personalizing basis user profiles, preferences, basis the customer's history with them. They're personalizing, trying to look at IP recognition by cookies, immediate behavior, click streams, and then also looking at the life stage of the customer. So there's various ways in which marketers are trying to leverage personalization. Sitecore, as a platform, Sitecore has been in this game way ahead of some of the competitors that it has. Cookie-based personalization, clickstream-based behavior, user profiles and preferences, browsing behavior, IP recognition, all of this, they've been doing it for a while with their digital marketing suite that was released originally in 2009. Now, with the current release, it's got a big boost with the experience database, because now they've added the data superiority layer to whatever they have been doing with personalization. Now you can do personalization across a much larger data set with a much larger set of customers. You can do segmentation much more easily, much more quickly, and be able to have customized marketing plans for different segments that you have. Basically, getting the right message out at the right time and on the right device. And there are various examples. We at eDynamic have implemented a lot of examples for different kinds of customers, but there are various examples in which we've done location-based personalization, we've done industry-based personalization, we've done device-based personalization, and the examples don't end. So what's important is that with marketers now with Sitecore 8, you can do all of this kind of personalization very easily, very quickly, and in a much more scientific way with the experience database as your data foundation. So that brings us to an end of today's session. I covered, in summary, the importance of customer behavior and how Sitecore 8 is really helping marketers, or can help marketers have real-time customer behavior insight and how it can truly drive their marketing programs. We talked about doing high-velocity programs, reacting to customers' behavior preferences across the life cycle using a single platform like Sitecore, and in the process, shortening the sales cycle. We talked about how Sitecore 8 can enable multi-channel marketing. And finally, we talked about a few examples of personalization and how marketers can use Sitecore 8 to do various kinds of personalization. I'll be happy to take any questions that you have at this point. Aditi?
Thank you so much for that insight, Abhiraj. It looks like we have a few questions. First is it hard to upgrade to Sitecore 8?
Well, no. If you're using Sitecore 7.x, 2 or 5, it's not hard to upgrade to Sitecore 8 because the foundation, the architecture of the product has not changed in the way content and experiences are different layers, the taxonomy and the way content hierarchies are created. That aspect of Sitecore has stayed the same. And it's built on a very solid .NET framework. So that has not changed, and that is one of the fundamental aspects when you're trying to upgrade to a new version of content management system. But where there might be additional help required from your Sitecore partner is in the areas of XDB, which is the experience database, programming that to your customized needs, looking at how you can leverage FXM, looking at how you can use experience analytics and the experience profiles to do better segmentation and marketing. So it's more of configuration and marketing help with the technology of the platform rather than a very strong technical upgrade in that sense. So no, it's not hard to upgrade, but it requires somebody to a Sitecore expert to work in terms of configuration and really using the tools that are now available to your best benefits.
There's another question. Is there a big incremental benefit of moving to Sitecore 8 from 7.5?
Yeah, the incremental benefit is something that I covered, and that is around the entire concept of the experience database and the experience profile. Sitecore has changed the game with the experience database because it now provides a much bigger net in which you can really cast your marketing messages and do it in a much sharper and personalized way, because there's much more data ingestion into the platform. They've taken big data to a different level with the platform, and that in itself opens up a world of possibilities for marketers. And the best thing is that you can do this in real time, like I said. So I think that is the biggest step up that marketers can take with this version of the platform. 7.5 had some capabilities in this regard, but 8 has more. And if you're looking at doing to track, external, non-Sitecore properties. We also have the Federated Experience Manager. So I think combined, I think the XDB and the Federated Experience Manager are very, very strong cases of why somebody should really look to switch from Sitecore 7.5 to Sitecore 8.
There are a few more questions, but we'll have to take them a little later. Thank you all for joining us today. We look forward to connecting with you again. The recording for this webinar will be available on our website within 3 business days. We will also be sharing the webcast URL with the attendees via email. Please feel free to reach out to us at contact@edynamic.net with any questions you may have. Thank you once again.